Hello, welcome to Please Read Your Book. My name's Carl and I talk about books. In this video, I'm going to talk about a captivating, mind-bending thriller by Iain Reid called Foe. Okay, so like I said, this video is about the novel called Foe by Iain Reid, who is a Canadian author. He's also famous for writing I'm Thinking About Ending Things, which was made into a film. And I found out this book has also been made into a film, which I didn't know at the time. I didn't know he was the author of I'm Thinking of Ending Things at the time either. But don't let that deter you. This is a really, really great thriller. It's a great novel. It's really addictive. The pacing of the novel is just fantastic. The story is great, and it's also pretty deep. It goes into some pretty interesting explorations, and we'll talk about that. So the story revolves around a couple, Junior and Hen, and they live on a very secluded farm, far, far, far away from the big city, and we're in the western part of the US, and it seems to be in the near future where things are maybe not so great, not terrible, but not great. And they're living in a very secluded and very isolated area. Their lives take a very surprising turn. Then they get a visit from a man named Terrence, who works for a corporation called Outermore. And Outermore has been doing all sorts of things with the government to try to improve everyone's life. One of those things is the push to live on other planets and through space exploration and setting up space stations and things like that. And Junior has been selected to participate in the next major phase of this program, where they will build the infrastructure that will allow humans to live on other planets. And of course, we can infer from that the people who build this infrastructure will not necessarily benefit from it. So, yeah, so that sets the plot into motion here. And the twist of all of this is, while Junior's gone, he's going to be gone for like 2 years on this work program. While he's gone, a replica of him will take his place and will live with Hen. Pretty weird, huh? We don't know why, but we're given a little bit of explanation in that it's just a sort of like, what's the right word I'm looking for here? It's kind of a buyout, that if your spouse is going to be gone, there'll be something to replace the spouse. And rather than, you would think it would be, you'd get some sort of monetary reward or supplement for this, but instead they provide a surrogate, if you will. So Junior goes out on this space mission, and we don't get a lot about that. The novel isn't really about the space exploration and the building, all this kind of stuff. Its focus is really on the relationship between Junior and Hen, and at this point, it focuses on the relationship between Hen and the replica of Junior. And the replica of Junior, I don't want to give too much away. The replica of Junior is nearly perfect. So close to perfect that it doesn't even know it's a replica. So, and that's really where the novel takes off, in my opinion. It goes really deeply into the emotional and psychological impact that this has on Hen, seen through the eyes of the replica, which doesn't really understand what is fully going on, because the replica doesn't know it's a replica. Instead, it sees a lot of this pain and this distance and this growing isolation that happens, and it doesn't know what to do, because it, despite being such a great replica, it's not a real thing and it doesn't have the experience and it's not able to extrapolate and act on previous memories and experiences, and it's not able to fully sympathize and understand how another person feels and act accordingly. So it becomes very, very interesting. And it also sort of gets, the novel then also kind of touches on sort of the ethical aspect too of, can people be replaced? Can they be replaced by constructs? And how good is that, and what's going to happen with that? And that very much plays out in the ending, which I don't want to give away. So it sounds like I've already told you the whole story and given you the twists, but there's an even bigger twist at the end, which was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming at all, and yet it was really satisfying, the ending that comes through. And so that kind of brings me to the last couple things I want to talk about. I don't want this video to be so long, but Iain Reid is a really great writer. I was really impressed with a couple of things. One, the pacing of the novel. The chapters are really, really short. You can read a chapter in sometimes 2-3 minutes. And so it's just really good pacing. It just keeps moving along, and you're not given any more than you need to keep the narrative moving forward. And he's great at not giving you what you need, so you're kind of always guessing what's going on. And it adds to kind of this heightened sense of anxiety almost, and kind of growing, I don't want to say paranoia, but maybe just confusion within the characters of what is real and what is really going on, why these things are happening to them. And again, because they live so distant, they're in this house on this isolated, desolate landscape. So all they've really got to do is just each other and to try and work through these things. So the book is really just about the relationship between a person and an idea of a person, which is pretty deep. I think it's actually very, very cool, very thought-provoking. It's a very tense book, like I said. There's great ambience, this increasing heightening of mystery and strange tension. And when you're reading it, you can't quite put your finger on the tension. But then as you step back and you think about it, you realize the tension is, again, like I said, is between this character and this replicated character, which is really weird when you think about it, but it's very interesting. And there's a lot of ethical considerations too. Like early in the book, there's a lot of discussion before Junior goes into space. There's a lot of discussion about, why is this happening? Why do I have to do this? Why don't I have a choice in this? Which is an important thing to notice, that he doesn't have a choice in it. He's basically drafted, but instead they call it a lottery. So, and in fact, the man Terrence even makes an allusion to like, well, we could have just kidnapped you and made you go and do this, but instead we've come and told you that you've won the opportunity to do it. So kind of like selling the idea. It's a very, and I think especially too with a lot of things that are happening with the global economy and with the increasing power of tech corporations, it's not a stretch of the imagination to foresee this kind of employment happening to people. There are at least a certain segments of the population who, need work, and there may only be a couple of types of work available. So it's pretty interesting to think about. But like I said, the real focus, the real crux of the book is really about relationships and about the ethics within a relationship, within the ethics of knowing something about a partner but not sharing that information with the partner, and how does that impact the relationship? How does that impact both people? And like I said, there's a really great twist at the end. I don't want to give it away because I was very surprised by it. And I think if you are interested in this book and you want to read it, I don't want to spoil it for you. So, fantastic read, highly recommended, very surprising read. I thought it would be more science fiction, more thriller, but it's really a good thriller, but also really good examination of human relationships. So there you go. That's my review of Foe by Iain Reid. Once again, my name is Carl, and this has been Please Read Your Book. I hope to see you again soon.